Hey there, and welcome. So, we've all been there, right? That hybrid classroom where the online students feel like they're just ghosts, and the in person students feel like they're in a totally different world. But what if technology could finally bridge that gap? Today, we're going to dive into a really cool experiment that might just hold the key to the future proof classroom. I mean, does this look familiar? You're either that person on the screen that nobody can quite hear, or you're in the room trying your best to connect with classmates who are just, well, faces in a grid. It's a massive challenge. And honestly, it's holding back what modern education could be. And you know what? There's actually a name for this whole mess: the hybrid disconnect. It's a huge hurdle for real, effective learning. So the big question is, what does it actually take to bridge that gap between the physical classroom and the virtual one? Now, the goals sound simple, right? Create one single classroom where that line between physical and virtual just disappears. A space where every single student, no matter where they are, feels just as present, just as engaged as everyone else.
Yeah, that's the challenge.
All right, so we've got the problem down. Now let's talk solutions, and this is where it gets exciting. We're going to break down a fascinating study where researchers used a whole set of innovative tools to try and build a better, more connected classroom. Their solution was this digital toolkit with three really key pieces. First up, OneRoom. Think of it as a system of cameras and screens that digitally stitches the physical and virtual classroom together so it feels like one big, continuous space. Second, Miro AI, which is this awesome AI-powered digital whiteboard where everyone can brainstorm and work together in real time. And third, and this is super cool, virtual Lego, a unique tool that lets students build 3D models to make complex, abstract ideas feel real and tangible. But here's the thing. This wasn't just about throwing a bunch of cool tech at a problem and hoping for the best. Nope. The researchers based their entire experiment on a really deep understanding of human motivation. It's not just about the tools. It's about how those tools make us feel as learners. So, they leaned on this really powerful idea from psychology called self-determination theory, or SDT for short. This theory is all about what really drives us from the inside. It basically says that for us to be truly motivated and engaged, we need to satisfy three core psychological needs. And here they are, the big three. First, you've got autonomy, that feeling of being in the driver's seat of your own education. Second is competence, that awesome feeling of mastering something like you've really earned it. And third is relatedness, that simple, crucial feeling of connecting and belonging with other people. The theory is, if the tech can nail these three things, engagement will absolutely skyrocket. So, we've got the theory and we've got the tech, but what did the students actually think? Did it work? Let's dive into the results and see if this high-tech classroom really delivered on its promise. Whoa! Okay, just take a look at that number. A whopping 97.6% of students said they felt engaged. I mean, that is an incredible result. It's a huge flashing sign that this high-tech approach was definitely onto something. But a big flashy number like that only tells part of the story, right? To really get what was going on, the researchers talked to the students, digging deep into how this whole experience affected their sense of autonomy, competence, and relatedness. So when it came to autonomy, the feedback was just overwhelmingly positive. Like this student said, having all these different tools gave them the freedom to explore ideas in their own way, in a way that worked for them. That sense of control, that's autonomy in a nutshell. And this quote just brilliantly shows the power of that virtual Lego tool for building competence. By taking a tricky idea and turning it into something they could literally build and show off, students didn't just learn the material, they felt this amazing sense of mastery and accomplishment. But then we come to relatedness, that feeling of connection. And this, as it always seems to be with hybrid learning, is where the results get a little more complicated. Yeah, the findings on relatedness were kind of a tale of two different outcomes. On one hand, the tech did a fantastic job creating a seamless learning space. Technologically, it worked. But on the other hand, a social gap was still there. Building those real personal connections across the physical divide, that was still a challenge. And this insight from the students just nails it perfectly. Technologically, it felt like one room. But socially, it still sometimes felt like two different groups of people. The technology could create presence, but it couldn't all on its own create a truly unified community. So, after all that, what's the big picture here? What are the major takeaways from this whole experiment for the classrooms of tomorrow?
All right, let's boil it all down. First, this high-tech model can be a game changer for student engagement. Second, it's fantastic at supporting learner autonomy and competence. But third, that challenge of fostering true social relatedness, that's still the final frontier. And that brings us to the most important point of all. Technology is an incredibly powerful tool, but it's only as good as the teaching strategy, the pedagogy that guides it.
And that leaves us with a really good question, doesn't it? We've seen a model that gets incredibly close to solving that hybrid disconnect. So is this the future of education, or is it just a really fascinating experiment? Will technology ever be able to fully bridge that social divide, or will that always be the uniquely human part of the classroom? Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.